39 years old and I live in Canberra, in the nation's capital. I was diagnosed with GPA in November of 2013 after quite a few very hard months of being quite ill with a very little baby as well. I got the first symptoms of the disease when I was 28 weeks pregnant, and that was really severe arthritis in random joints all around my body. When she was born, I went okay for about 2 months, and then I went downhill really, really quickly. And that was probably the hardest part of being ill, was that I had a little baby. I was a new mum, so first time mum with a little baby, and I was very, very ill that I was laying on the lounge all day. I could not get up to apart from feeding her, I was laying on the lounge sleeping all day, trying to just survive while my husband was working full time. It was in the October that I got really, really sick. I'd had a long-term ear infection that just would not clear up, and I'd been in and out of hospital with severe vertigo from the ear infection. I'd had a facial palsy develop as well. Then my eyesight started to go a bit funny. And then one particular doctor at the hospital seemed to put the pieces of the puzzle together and did an anchor test. And of course I was anchor positive, and it all kind of snowballed from there. I was diagnosed via a kidney biopsy one Friday afternoon and admitted to hospital that day and started rituximab the next day. So very, very lucky that thankfully the kidney damage was not too extensive and that they got it pretty early, and that I could start what I would consider the gold standard treatment pretty quickly. Initially it was a real shock because when you Google this disease, you kind of are really like, oh, this sounds really serious. And I had a lot of, why have I got this disease? I'm young and I was fit. I've been active my whole life. I've played sport my whole life, and I didn't really understand, why I had this disease. So it was kind of a roller coaster initially, understanding all the terminology around the disease, and learning about it and learning about the treatments and side effects of all the treatments. I probably took on a pretty proactive approach, I guess, because I really wanted to be my own advocate in the medical world, which is something that I'm really passionate about, that if you don't understand something when you have a chronic illness, you need to ask those questions, and you need to ask until you understand yourself. And I think that probably helped in the development of the relationship I have with my main specialist, because I did ask lots of questions, and he would take the time to always explain things to me so that I understood what was happening and why certain decisions were being made. The journey then became, I was well for about 8 months, and then I flared again. Lucky enough at that time I got into a clinical trial, the rituximab trial, and I had was obviously put back into remission with rituximab, and then I got put into the rituximab group for continued treatment for 2 years. And I think that decision to go into the clinical trial and talking with my specialist about, what could be the outcomes of this, provided me with the opportunity and my husband to go, you know what, we have a long-term dream of opening our own gymnastics centre. We talked about it since we started going out in year 11. He kind of said, this is a pretty good option for you. I think it's going to keep the disease under control for quite a long time. And we went, you know what, let's do this. So we decided to launch into our gymnastics centre. 5 years later, we now run the biggest club in Canberra, basically, with a coaching staff of 45 and 1,400 gymnasts coming in each week. I work crazy hours, 6 to 7 days a week, so sometimes 60, 70 hours a week. It is our absolute passion, and we love what we do. We're very lucky we can do what we love. It's hard and it's tiring because, working those hours, but having the weight of a whole business on you is hard, particularly at times like this when we're in the middle of a pandemic. But I definitely wouldn't be able to do it without the support of my husband, obviously, and our whole family who are always there to keep a watch on me and say, hey, slow down, you need to take it a bit easier, I can see you're wavering a little bit, or you just need to have some time out. So I think in that regard, what I'm grateful for in my life now is really my friends and my family who are there to support me. We call it our gymnastics family, and our team of people who make it all happen, and at times are the ones that sort of step up and say, you know what, I'm going to take that on for you, because you know what, you need to have a day off. So I'm so grateful to those people for their support. Probably my biggest thanks is for my main specialist, and that's Dr. Giles Walters, who's based at the Canberra Hospital. He's the kidney specialist that diagnosed me and who I see sort of every 3 months. I've never met a more approachable and caring and supportive medical professional in this whole journey, or in my whole life. Giles is an outstanding doctor, but he's also an incredibly caring person. If I have an issue, I can drop him an email and he'll respond. I can call him at any time if I'm concerned about something, and he will always take the time to talk me through things and obviously present the whole case of why we might be doing something, to make sure I'm comfortable with what we're doing. I wish there was more people like him in the medical profession, hearing other people's GPA stories as well. That, you know, if we had more doctors like Giles in the world, I reckon we'd all be a lot healthier and happier with this disease. So yeah, I guess in that regard, he's in my corner, and I find that so important, that you have someone, and a doctor and a treating physician who is in your corner and who is there to support you is critical when you have a chronic illness like this. What am I looking forward to the most? Well, I'm really hoping I never flare again, and I am healthy, and my immune system is completely back to normal, and I'm not, I'm going really, really well, which is a brilliant outcome for me. I would love to see more research put into this disease, which it's considered rare, but I think that's even more reason why we should do research, because I'm one of those believers that when something's rare, actually, and if you research it, it gives you a lot more stories into other aspects of life, or potentially other illnesses. And I'd love to see better treatments as well for the disease. I've been lucky enough to only have rituximab, which has done wonders for me, and not only put me in remission, but kept me in remission and kept me quite healthy. But particularly in the space of, I guess, prednisolone, I'd love to see an alternative put into a real alternative. That's probably the only real issue I've had with this disease, is the side effects of taking the steroids for so long. But other than that, I'm just really thankful that I have had great outcomes with this disease, and I still always feel that, it's sitting on my shoulder and watching over me, but with the right team of doctors behind me, and with more research and treatment options, I think we can all go on to live a much better and quality life with this chronic illness.